In here, let's get it cracking, eh? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the show. It is your boy Pat the Designer, back at it again. How are you feeling today, Chicago? Wanted to get in here, wanted to chat with y'all. We all know about the information that we were received yesterday and or lack thereof. Y'all saw me get a little bit wild on that one. But wanted to hop back in here, chat with y'all about what another option might be. What is there left? The question on the table for today's show. What options are left? What is the best option left for the Chicago Bears in 2021? What is the best option left for the Chicago Bears in 2021? Dak Prescott in the live. What's good? We want to hear from y'all too. I want to hear from y'all too. Absolutely. I want to know your opinions on this because this is the beloved team, the charter franchise, as they say. SPM and Alive. Hey, yo! By the way, if you are live on YouTube right now, please like the video. Please subscribe to the page because we do talk Chicago sports weekly, and we don't want you to miss a thing. So make sure that you hit that bell so that you can get notified every time we go live, anytime we do a game, anytime that we post a video. It should hit you up with a notification. Now, YouTube be on that sometimes, so sometimes it might not, but more times than not, you're supposed to get hit with a notification. We got Misty in the live. She says Russ is the best option at quarterback that the Bears have right now. And I kind of want to get into that as well. Touch on that as well because I think that there's a lot of options out there that if we're being honest with ourselves as Bears fans, and we're all Bears fans in here, Bear Down, by the way, let me get them Bear Downs in the chat. If you in here with me, get them Bear Downs. I think our best option when it comes to that is honestly being honest with ourselves. Are we being honest with ourselves? We believe in these pipe dreams, don't we? We love these pipe dreams, don't we? Hey, the Bears should go get this guy, that guy. The Bears should go get Dak Prescott. The Bears should go get Deshaun Watson. The Bears should go get Russell Wilson. The Bears should go get, keep naming the guy. Jeffrey in the live. Because we throw out the Bears should go get so often, we're not thinking realistically as Bears fans a lot of times. Am I right? And so today, I want to break that down realistically. What is the Bears' best option left at the quarterback position? We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all hit that like button, man. If you're on Facebook, if you're watching on the Facebook, we are live on Facebook as well. Make sure you hit the share button. If you're listening on the podcast, we appreciate you for coming through as well. Now, we put a poll up. On the YouTube. If you haven't done so, go vote on that. Still time left to vote on that as well in the community tab. If you're not in the community tab, that's a way to keep up with us as well. We talked about today's question of the day. What do you think the Bears' plans are at QB? Trade for one, sign one, stick with Foles, and draft one. And so let's break down those scenarios. Let's realistically break down those scenarios. Let's start it off with trading for one. What are our options at trading for one? What is our best option available at trading for one, right? Like I said, we're throwing the big names out there again. We're throwing out Russ. We're throwing out Dak Prescott. We're throwing out Deshaun Watson. Those aren't realistic options, Bears fans. Those just are not realistic options. Because I'm gonna be real with you. Listen, I'm not one of the fans that says you shouldn't go after Dak Prescott or a Deshaun Watson or a Russell Wilson because then you're depleting your team of everything else. No, what you're depleting your team of is big name players. So what are you losing at? You lose Roquan Smith. Okay, that's tough. I would hate to lose Roquan Smith. Roquan's turning into a heck of a player. I do not want to see Roquan Smith not in a Bears uniform. I would hate to face Roquan Smith. He's turning into a heck of a player. You might lose a Jalen Johnson. That's tough too, because I think Jalen Johnson, also another guy who's going to turn into a heck of a player. You might lose, name the defensive guy. But to me, what you're gaining on the offensive end is well worth it. What you're gaining offensively on the other end is well worth it. If you're able to get those guys. Now you're losing picks as well. You're losing your first round picks. And in this Ryan Pace era, we're saying, oh my God, how are we losing our first? We can't give up first round picks for multiple years and be competitive. I would argue, take a look at what the LA Rams do. When you have pieces in place that can be structural pieces, you can give away those picks. Now, are the Bears at that point? That's the question that we really need to ask ourselves. Are the Bears at that point? That's the question we really need to ask ourselves. Do we have enough impact players on each side of the ball that we're okay with giving up those picks? Because a quarterback really does change that much. If you feel that you are an elite quarterback away, and that an elite quarterback really does change that much, then yeah, give up those first round picks. You know why? Because you're not looking for your quarterback in the first round. And the one thing I will say about Ryan Pace that he actually has proven, he's been able to find talent in those later rounds. Now, I think where your first round picks affect you the most is, can you find picks or can you find pieces to fix your offensive line in the later rounds? Can you find picks to fix your offensive line in the later rounds? That's the toughest question on the table. Your offensive line, I'm sorry. That's the toughest question on the table if you make a move for one of those quarterbacks. Not saying that the Bears are in a position to make a move for one of those quarterbacks. I don't believe that we are. I don't think Houston's trading Deshaun Watson. I don't think that the Seahawks are trading Russell Wilson. I don't think that Dallas is going to be dumb enough to let Dak Prescott go. Why would you? Why would you? Why would you make a move that you know is going to set your franchise back? And I'm going to be real with you. As Bears fans, we love to dream about it, right? We love to talk about the packages that could be in place. We love to get on board with the different packages that could possibly be in place. What package are you going to put together that's going to be a better package than what the New York Jets can offer? Or than what the Jaguars can offer? What package do we have? You can offer as many first-round picks as you want. Is that first-round pick going to turn into something that replaces what we're losing, which you might be able to do this year in Trevor Lawrence? By the way, you already know it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Dilly. You know how we get down here on the breeze. If you agree, leave a like, man. If you agree, leave a like. Torian Whitfield says, let Foles start, sign and tag Robinson, fix O-line, draft a QB, and wait. Keeping it 100. It's an interesting scenario to be in. When you bring up a scenario like that, when you bring up that kind of situation where, okay, we're trying to bring up an O-line. We're trying to fix the O-line because that's the thing that you need to fix first. Okay, I'm here for that. I'm absolutely here for that. But we're talking about draft a QB and wait. You have to think from the mindset that Ryan Pace is at right now. For us, that's great. You know why? Because after this season, we're still going to be Bears fans. Bear done. After this season, we're still going to be Bears fans. We're still going to sit here and bleed orange and blue all day, all night. All day, all night. Ryan Pace doesn't have that opportunity. Ryan Pace doesn't have the opportunity to continue with the Chicago Bears. Matt Nagy doesn't have the opportunity to continue with the Chicago Bears if we keep going. And so if you're going to make that move in the future, that's not how they're thinking. They're thinking this season right now. They think they're a legit competent. I wouldn't even go as far as saying they think they're a great quarterback away. I would say they think they are a legit competent quarterback away from being a championship contending team based on the defense. And now we know the defense isn't what it once was. But they think that they are a legit competent quarterback away based on the defense. I don't think trading for a quarterback is going to work in the Bears' favor in any situation. I don't think if you went out and you got who's my man's good grief, Derek Carr. He's not even available at this point. But if you went out and got a Derek Carr, what you would have to give up for what he's actually worth, now that's not worth making the move. So to me, trading for a quarterback, that's something that a lot of Bears fans want because they want to fix this right now. They want it to be fixed this season. They're on the Ryan Pace mindset, right? But if that's what you're worried about this season, you're screwing yourself in the future as a Bears fan if you want them to trade for a quarterback. Because you're not getting Russ, you're not getting Deshaun, and you're not getting Dak. They're not coming through that door. And so now the question becomes, what are the other options left? Now we get into it. What are the realistic options? What are your realistic options at the quarterback position? What do you have that you can realistically go out and acquire at the quarterback position? Dak Prescott, by the way, hey, we'd love to see you here. Bears just in a bad spot, and it's all Trubisky's fault. I wish y'all took Mahomes because I see that elite defense and see a terrible quarterback and coach. Mahomes makes a big difference. Mahomes was ready to play. They asked about Pat Mahomes, his rookie season. They said he was ready to play his rookie year. He was ready to get it done his rookie year. He was looking great. We got 22 people in here. If we can get 22 likes on the video, I appreciate you. That makes a difference. That makes a difference. The quarterback position absolutely makes a difference, but we're not in that situation right now, right? We're not in that situation right now. And so we have to see what's the best that is left. Would you guys bring back Mitchell Trubisky? Would you guys bring back Mitchell Trubisky? To me, that's not an option in the slightest. One, I don't think Mitchell's going to come back. But Pace left the door open, didn't he, in his press conference? When he hit him with, well, we've got all things on the table, and when we're looking at it, we really want to see what we have out there. And, Mitch is a great guy, and we really want to bring... Come on, bro. Let that experiment die. There should be a 0% chance that Mitchell Trubisky is walking back through that door. 0. Is Alex Smith an option? We know what he went through with the injury. We know what he's gone through in his career. Behind this O-line, it would scare the living H out of me. But we're at this point. We're truly at this point. Out West says Alex Smith. We're truly at this point. Casey Powers, no Mitch. How about Marcus Mariota? Here's the thing that I hate. We're here for. We're begging for scraps. We're begging for scraps. Legitimately. We're begging for Marcus Mariota. We're begging for Alex Smith. We're begging for scraps. The good guys we could have went after, they're gone. They're gone. And so what's our mindset go to next? What does our mindset go to next? Well, Alex Smith was good in 2018. That was 3 years ago, bro. That was 3 years ago. Marcus Mariota looked real good in Tennessee. There's a reason they let him go. There's a reason they let him go. Skogan the Hokage says, Alex Smith is like Trubisky, but he can't move his feet anymore. Nah, bro. We're not going to disrespect Alex like that. We're not going to disrespect Alex like that. At all. At all. Out West said anybody but Mitch. It's sad that we're in this position, but here's where we are. We're begging for scraps. We're begging for anything that we can get to walk through that door. Legitimately. We are begging for anything that we can get to walk through that door. And I hate that we're here. I truly, truly hate that we are here. Do you guys believe that signing a quarterback is our best option? Do you believe that signing a quarterback is our best option? MDR on the live, what's good, my boy? Torian says pace is broken. Is absolutely. Chosen Child. Alex Smith can read defense a little better than Mitch. But talent-wise, Mitch is better. He didn't have the right coach to develop him. Listen. I'm not here for the Mitch is better. Mitch can't hit people in their hands consistently. Mitch ain't better. I've seen Alex Smith at least go down the field and hit people in their hands. I'm not saying Alex Smith is the end-all, be-all, but I've seen him go down the field and hit people in their hands. That's what it's all about. If you in here, like the video. Legitimately, it is Mitchell Trubisky or Alex Smith, or let's look at the free agent market that's out there. Are any of those options going to improve the Bears? I would go as far as to say there's not an option that is left out there that's not maybe a Cam Newton. Maybe a Cam Newton if he was willing to come back. That's even competent. That's even competent. I'm seeing Sam Darnold in the chat, which is another trade. You'd have to trade for Sam Darnold. You would have to trade for Sam Darnold. What are you willing to give up for Sam Darnold? Let me know in the chat. What are you willing to legitimately give up for Sam Darnold? For a project. For a project. For something that is legitimately a question mark. Misty keeps saying Sam Darnold. For something that is legitimately a question mark. Jeffrey says they broke Cam a few years back when they was hitting him like a running back. I don't think they broke Cam. I think we gave Cam a bad rap. I think people talk about Cam, gave him a bad rap. Because you think about it, Cam Newton wasn't injured this season. He had COVID-19. And he looked very different after that. So there might be a little something left in Cam. I think there's more left in Cam than we think. Top Shot says, if it ain't Watson or Wilson, I'm good. And I think that's what it comes down to, y'all. Are you willing? Let's be real. In the chat, let me know. Let me know. Are you willing to give up assets? Are you willing to give up legitimate pieces that are a part of this team? Are you willing to give up Darnell Mooney? Are you willing to give up a Khalil Mack? Well, Khalil Mack's cap hit is too high. For everybody saying trade Mack, you're not trading Mack. If you trade Mack, you want to talk about destroying a team, that would destroy your team. That would destroy your team. But if you're talking about getting rid of impact players that are on this team, which is what we're talking about, what are you giving up for him? We were talking about Sam Darnold. Are you giving up something for Sam Darnold? Are you giving up a pick? Because I'm going to be real with you. While I don't like how Ryan Pace has handled the picks early in the draft, say you're giving up a third or a fourth round pick for Sam Darnold to take a flyer on a guy that's looked terrible. Terrible. Now, granted, he's been with Adam Gase. He's dealt with mono, which is wild. How are we still talking about mono in 2021? How are we still talking about mono in 2021? But are you giving up picks for mediocre guys? For guys that are projects in themselves? For guys that are question marks in themselves? Are you giving up picks? I'm not. I'm not giving up a pick for Sam Darnold. I'm not giving up players for Sam Darnold. Jeffrey said mono. Yeah, bro, mono. Just Google it. Just Google it. Mono. This man dealt with mono. Sound like some of a SpongeBob. I see a Derek Carr in the chat. Derek Carr, they never made Derek Carr available. So I think that was just people just like, yo, is Derek Carr available? Trade for him. Trade for him. SPM said, give up Wims for Darnold. I'll do that. I'll do that. Out West said he garbage, bro. Yeah, he is. But you know what? I can't say that. I can't say that because we've never seen him with any talent around him. So I would like to see him with talent, but just not here. Just not here. I'd like to see him with a little bit of talent around him, see if he can play, but just not here. But Sam Darnold's been a question since he came out of college. He's been a question the entire time. It's not like at any point he wasn't a question. His entire career has been questioned. His career was in question the day he got picked in the draft. And so to me, when you're talking about an impact player, when you're talking about an impact player at the quarterback position, that's not out there. That's not out there. And so what's the Bears' best option at quarterback left? Is there a best option for the Chicago Bears left? Is there somebody who we can look at and say, yo, that's the guy I need on my team? Another name to throw out there? An interesting name to throw out there? Let me pull the stats up for him too. And I'm going to present this to y'all, right? I'm going to present this to y'all. I'm going to give you his numbers. I'm not going to give you his name, but I'm going to give you his numbers. If I told you that there was a quarterback out there that was completing 62% of his passes, has thrown for over 5,000 yards in not in a single season, but in his entire career. He's only been in the league a couple years. Is averaging about 7 yards a pass. It's not Teddy Bridgewater either, guys. I see Teddy Bridgewater in the chat. Touchdown to interception ratio, 37 touchdowns to 11 picks. If I told you that quarterback was still available, would you be interested? Would you be interested in that? We'll talk about that on the other side of the break. I appreciate you guys for rocking with me. It is your boy, Pat the Designer. Back at it again. We'll be back in 2 minutes, and I'll give you that name on the other side of the break. I'll give you that quarterback on the other side of the break. We'll be right back.
You have to really dig into these numbers. Don't sit there and just be that casual fan that says, "Oh, and you follow mainstream media," because that changes day by day. You know, that changes every day. You know, at one point in time, Brady's not the GOAT, and he's doing all this. Next thing you know, he's the best thing since sliced bread. Listen,
Tom Brady stopped being the GOAT every season he wins a Super Bowl.
You know what I'm saying? You really got to dig into. If we're gonna play armchair GM, really try to be armchair GM. Like really dig into why these particular moves are made and what it sets yourself up for. You can't have you can't have everything. You cannot have it all. Because the one thing I've told everyone since the start, if we go after a bigger name, who are we putting after him? Because we got to see what Pat Mahomes with the bad O-line for a particular day look like. I mean, he's throwing dimes, but guess what? He look a lot like Matt Stafford. He look a lot like Matt Stafford if you don't have people in a situation who are under pressure, you know. And I know that team is good, so don't get me wrong. But realistically, that's the kind of situation we set ourselves up with game after game by going to get other people and stuff like that. So it's not about putting this particular quarterback on the same plateau or echelon of Dax, Matt's, definitely not Deshaun's and stuff like that. It's really trying to, how does this system work for him? How does he take us to the next step? Like there are levels to this game. Right. We are like middle of the road. We ain't elite yet. We're middle of the road. We're just trying to inch up.
Barely.
So at this point,
barely.
Hey, we're just trying to inch up. That's all we want. We just want somebody who knows, can he make this throw if I need him to make this throw? Because we don't know if we have that guy yet.
Yeah, facts.
That's a different conversation. When Nick is behind center, we're asking all of those things. When Nick Foles is behind center, we know he's not making a play with his legs. We're like, God, is he going to get cracked in the ribs again? Like, absolutely.
What's good, y'all? It is your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. We are back in the building talking about what the Chicago Bears' best option left at quarterback is. What is the Chicago Bears' best option left at the quarterback position? Before the break, which is kind of dope, right? If y'all been rocking with me, we got breaks now. We got breaks now. We're trying to get some more up in there. But I gave you these numbers before the break of who the Bears' best possible option, not best possible option. Let me stop. No, easy. Who a possible option for the Chicago Bears could be. And I'll give you the numbers one more time. He's played in a career 23 games. His completion percentage is 62%. He's thrown for 5,000 yards over 23 games. Over 5,000, 5,500 yards. He averages 7 yards an attempt. His touchdown to interception ratio in 2 seasons is 37-11. And he will be available because his team is looking to move on from him. That man is the mustache, the jockstrap king, as he's put on Pro Football Reference. Gardner Minshew II. Gardner Minshew II. Now, when I first saw those numbers, I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? But you have to look at those numbers and say, okay, if I'm willing to trade for a guy that's not going to cost me much at all because he's come off 2 teams that have been god-awful. Or 2 seasons, I'm sorry, that have been god-awful. Is he a guy worth taking a flyer on? Is he a guy that's worth taking a flyer on? You look at his breakdown from season to season, and of course, last year to me is very tough to gauge, right? Because you're going into a situation where a team is completely trying to lose. Now, also, the other thing for a Gardner Minshew, he's only 24. He's only 24. I believe he'll be 25 when the season starts. But you break down his essentially his record. 2019, he goes 6-6, 285, 470 on 285 completions on 470 attempts. That is a 60% completion rating, 3,000 passing yards, 21 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Now, here's the thing with me that I really look at and I say, okay, is this a guy that we really want? Is this a guy that we really want to go after? Is Shonda in the live? What's good, Shonda? Is this a guy that we really want to make a trade for? But as I look at his numbers, and listen, you got to look at the game tape too. Don't just look at the numbers. Look at the game tape. In a season where realistically, they were trying to find their franchise QB, in 2020, can we expect that he's going to put up great numbers? Can we expect that he's going to put up great numbers? Jeffrey says, what's the cost on Minshew? I'm going to be real with you. I don't think the cost is high because more than likely Trevor Lawrence is going to Jacksonville or they're going to trade that pick for Deshaun Watson. So either way, he has no value as anything but a backup. He has no value as anything but a backup. And let me see. I want to pull up his contract as well just to give you guys those numbers. Minshew signed a 4-year, $2 million contract with the Jacksonville Jaguars. A 4-year, $2 million contract with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I want to say he's in the last year of that deal. I'm trying to see how this breaks down here. So coming into this season, 2021, so he's got 2 years left on it. He essentially makes $850,000. Next year, he makes $965,000. Now, here's the thing with the Gardner Minshew pickup, right? Here's the thing with the Gardner Minshew pickup. You'd have to trade for him. You're giving up a pick. It's probably a later round pick, right? It's probably a later round pick. But what you're doing is taking a flyer on a guy who is 24 years old, who has, let's be real, his season last year, of course, looks terrible, but I think that they're trying to lose in that season. And so it's probably going to look, you're probably calling plays to help you lose games. And to say, I think this year, if any year showed us, we always talk about where the coaches don't try to do that. That's not true. They literally tried to give us that game when they didn't let Gardner Minshew play versus the Chicago Bears and they put Mike Glennon in. They were trying to give us that game. They were trying to give us that win. But if I'm offering a third round pick for anybody, and probably what it is, Carl Johnson says Minshew equals Kyle Orton. If I'm offering that kind of pick, I'm not saying this guy is your long-term answer. I think we would be fools to say that because if he was your long-term answer, it probably would be working out for him, right? But when you've got a guy on the table right now who has 37 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. If you're going to take a flyer on anybody, give me the flyer on the guy that has a better than 2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. And by the way, it doesn't mean you have to keep him. You know what it means? We're going to send this guy out there to make plays. And if he doesn't make plays, we're drafting a quarterback at some point anyway. This is just our bridge guy. That makes no money. Stop going after guys who make a ton of money to bring them in here to be the same mediocre guys they were somewhere else. To be the exact same mediocre guys that they were somewhere else. Now, like I said, you got to watch the tape. All of the tape does not look good, but Gardner Minshew is 24 years old and those are his stats. The other thing we need to know, Bears fans, listen, if we're talking about stats, Mitch's stats don't look terrible. They don't look terrible. And he's not, it's tough. It's tough. It's sad that we're here. But to me, it's a guy who's making no money with an offensive line, with possible weapons in Darnell Mooney. And if you can get a deal done, you've still got money left over now to re-sign Allen Robinson. Like the Jamoke are. You're still sitting here asking, should we re-sign A-Rob like the Jamoke are? I'm not saying he's your number one option. I'm not saying he's your long-term answer. I'm saying we're at a point where this is a guy where whoever's playing the quarterback position, Nick Foles, somebody we trade for, whether we sign Alex Smith, he's not your answer. He's not the guy that's going to win you something this season. He's not the guy that's going to take you to the Super Bowl this season. And if anything, if he becomes that guy, guess what? You found your guy for a third-round pick. But if not, he's a cheap bridge. We're at a point where we need to be looking for cheap. We need to be looking for talent, but also how much does this mug make? Because the salary cap is going down to about $180 million, and cuts are going to need to be made. If anything, give me a third. I'll send you Nick Foles back. He's not doing too much. Enjoy the family in Jayville. Enjoy backing up guard. And but be real with you. As a starter, you might not want Nick Foles in there. But as a backup QB, Nick Foles is one of the best people you can have in there. Not because he's going to come in and save the day and take you to the Super Bowl. I'm not saying that, even though he's done it. But because he's a guy that can actually teach a young quarterback how to navigate the league. He's really good at that. Say what you want. Say what you want about what he is on the field. Say what you want about what he is behind a really bad offensive line. But he's a guy who is able to come in and help teach you. Jeffrey says, Minshew is making a lot of sense. I'm not going to lie to you. I hate that he is. I hate that he is because I would challenge y'all to go watch his tape. It's not all pretty. Most of it is just like, okay, he's a guy. He's a guy. But if you're going to take a project guy, give me the guy that's 37-11. We keep seeing Sam Darnold because Sam Darnold was in a bad situation. We keep seeing Sam Darnold because Sam Darnold was had mono. We keep seeing Sam Darnold. He didn't have his opportunity. Let me tell you what Sam Darnold has done in the same amount of time, both on bad teams. Both on bad teams. And Sam Darnold's had a few more games, actually. In 38 games, because Minshew didn't start his first season. In 38 games for Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold has completed 59% of his passes. He has thrown for 8,000 yards in his career. Averaging about 6 yards an attempt. Okay, all right. We're looking good. Here's where it gets you, though. 45 touchdowns, 39 interceptions. Let me read that again for y'all. 45 touchdowns, 39 interceptions. Woo. Sweet King Martin. That's what y'all want? That's what y'all want? And I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying that Minshew's the answer, but I'm going to take a flyer on the dudes that's 37-11. Even in a season when a team was trying to lose. He did not throw. What do we got? He threw in Minshew's entire career. He's thrown the same amount of picks that Darnold threw last season. Come on now. I'm not saying either of these guys is the long-term answer at quarterback. I'm not. But if you're going to take a flyer on a guy with a pick that you're giving up value at, take a flyer on a guy that's 37-11, not the guy that's 45-39. Come on, bro. Come on, bro. What are we really talking about here? And let's not Jameis Winston ourselves either. Let's not Jameis Winston ourselves either. But I mean 45 touchdowns, though. And I know there's a lot of people that think Jameis is still an option because Drew's coming back. You know that they probably want to go with they're probably not going with Jameis as the starting QB down there, even if he's not there, even if Drew's not there. Learn from that. This is what I want people to learn from this offseason. This is what I truly want people to learn from this offseason. If a team is letting somebody go because they feel that they're garbage, one man's trash is not another man's treasure in the NFL. And I feel like the Bears are the trash heap. I feel like the Bears are the trash heap. Because what do we do every single year? We need to fix our offensive line. What's available? Well, you could go pay this guy a whole bunch of money. Nah, we can't do that. We can't do that. Okay. Well, what else is available? Let me see. If I'm looking around the league, what else is available? How about we go pick up a guy who the Seattle Seahawks, who really, really, really need offensive line help with. Let go. He was a first-round pick for them, and they let him go because, he's just not panning out here. Let's go sign that guy. That's what the Bears do, and I'm sick of seeing it. I'm sick of seeing you go out and give valuable assets, valuable money for garbage. Now, you might say, Pat, we've seen it. Gardner Minshew's garbage. I'm not saying he's not. But I'm saying that if I'm going to take a chance on a guy, I'm not going to take the chance on a guy that's literal doo-doo water. Y'all can keep Sam Darnold all the way away from me. All the way away from me. You want to go get somebody? You want to take a flyer on somebody? Take a flyer on somebody that's got 37 touchdowns to 11 picks. I'm talking about Gardner Minshew. Good grief. It's sad that we're here. It really is. And I see you, T-Mac, in the live talk about the McCaskies got to sell. That's not going to happen, bro. That's not going to happen. Would you sell your $1 billion asset? Unapologetic truth says pace is cheap. I wouldn't go that far. Pay Khalil Mack a heck of a lot of money. We also get stuck in that narrative a lot too. Oh, this guy's cheap. Chicago's cheap. They always cheap. No, they just pay the wrong people. It's not that they cheat. They just pay the wrong people. Jay Cutler, they just pay the wrong people. What we got here? Hey, bro, I live in NYC. Heads do not rock with Sam Darnold at all. Who would, bro? Who would? Why would you rock with Sam Darnold? What value is Sam Darnold really going to give you? Oh, man. Hey, yo, we're going to take another quick break, y'all. We'll be right back. Cutler made $127 million. Yeah, he's set for life. And look, holds most of the Bears records. Hey, we're going to take another quick break. On the other side, preview of some other stuff we got coming. What I think the best option is for the Chicago Bears. And what I think is going to actually happen. Y'all stay safe. See you on the other side. horrible call on the referee.
Bro, if I see the big man,
That's a horrible call on the referee. Wendell's got to pick him up.
Take that from him.
Wendell's got to pick him up. Fam, there's nothing there. Where's the foul?
Dog, you see that smooth Euro?
That was a beautiful Euro.
It was unnecessary, though.
It's not unnecessary. It was smooth.
All I'm gonna say is this: you know who got underrated Euro style, bro? Steven Adams.
Let me ask y'all this though. Let me. Hey, look.
Steven Adams got underrated.
Look. As Zach able to knock down the first.
Rico with the take of the night. I love it. That's that right there, player. Right there.
Hold on.
Right there, player.
As
Sam.
Zach able to knock down a pair that 58.
I can't stop.
Steven Adams. Everybody just like Steven Adams. Hey, yo, welcome back into the show. It is your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again. We appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us, man. Really do. Just to give you a heads up on what all is coming tonight. We are going to be live for the Chicago Bulls live stream, doing the play-by-play live reaction for that. So y'all tune in with that as well. Excuse me. That's fine. We're also going to be continuing these live streams. We appreciate y'all for rocking with us on these live streams. We're going to be live, like I said, later tonight. That game starts at 7 o'clock, so tune in on us with that. We also have the post-game show after that. So we're doing a lot of work tonight, man. We're doing a whole lot of work tonight. So make sure that y'all rock with that. I told y'all before the break that the best option that the Bears have coming into this season. The best option that the Bears have coming into the season. Before I get out of here, I want to break this down. Got a few minutes. As much as it sucks, as much as it may suck, it's going to be sticking with Nick Foles. And I'm not saying that that's what's going to lead you to the promised land, but Bears fans, you got to pick a direction. You got to pick a direction. You have to pick a direction. If you're not going left, you're going right. And right now, you're in the middle. You are in quarterback hell. You've been here for 50, 60, 70 years. The best quarterback we've ever had is Jimmy Mack. Mike Nice and Alive, what's good, my boy? Of course, you get here in the last 10 minutes. It's all right, though. We won't hold it against you. I know I see you in there for the Bulls live tonight. That's the best option you have right now. You know why? Because you still keep all of your assets. You're able to draft the quarterback, and I see a lot of people talking about the different quarterbacks in the draft. You're able to draft a quarterback. And you know what happens? You're not risking it all for one season. You're not risking it all for one season. Because right now, legitimately, Ryan Pace is sitting over there behind that Bulls head cornered. He's cornered right now. He has to make something happen, right? And you've put him in this position. You give him an ultimatum season. You've given him an ultimatum season. You know what he's going to do with that? He's going to play into the ultimatum. Are you telling me and Matt Nagy that it's make something happen or get fired? Swinging for the fences. You know why? Because it don't matter if I mess up. If I mess up, I'm probably not getting another GM job. For Matt Nagy, will Matt Nagy coach again? Absolutely. He's got a Coach of the Year trophy. He's going to coach again. People will look at this situation and say it was impossible for him to win with what was given to him. Baki in the live was good. People are going to look at him and say it was impossible for him to win with what was given to him. And that may be true. But I've seen Matt Nagy coach himself into some bad situations. John the Great in the live. What's good, my boy? Man, all the P1s rolling in the last 8 minutes of the show. I appreciate y'all for rolling in with me anyway. Andrew Velasquez says, Alex Smith, next QB. Hold on, I lost your comment. Hold on. Next QB, mark my words, go Bears. I love it. I don't love the fact that Alex Smith will be our next quarterback. I just love the fact that you're so confident about it. Bear down. Mike Knight says, I don't see anything new with Nagy and Pace after they were told they still have their job. Yeah. To me, it's all about not just this season, but setting yourself up to be successful in the future. Setting yourself up to be successful for seasons to come. Can you do that while being successful this year? You don't get a pass for this season either. I'm not giving anybody a pass for this season. If anything, this is going to be the most scrutinized season the Chicago Bears have had in a long time in 2021. You don't get a pass. But does that mean that you're not able to be successful this year if you stick with Nick Foles? Maybe. But I think we saw the worst of Foles because you literally saw different offensive linemen standing in front of him every single play. There's not many quarterbacks in the NFL that could be successful in that situation. Does that mean that I want to see Nick Foles out there? No. Jake asking, what about Teddy Bridgewater? Teddy's still under contract. Again, and you've got to give up big assets for him. I'm not giving you an asset for something that is meh. No. If I'm giving up assets, I'm giving up the house for Deshaun Watson and Russell Wilson. You know why? Because I can figure everything else out after. But you've still got offensive line issues. You're dang right I do. And you know what? We're going to have to see if we can address that. But I got my quarterback figured out. I've got my quarterback figured out. Now, like I said in the beginning, for everybody that missed that, I don't think those are realistic options. But those are the only options I'm willing to give you real assets for. Other than that, meh. Guys, you got guys. You've got guys. And unfortunately, this is here. This is where we're at. SPM, see you later, man. Boss is getting mad because I keep answering your questions like I'm watching Dora the Explorer. Hey, SPM, I'll see you later, man. We appreciate you for tuning in with us, man. Misty says, what about Colin Kaepernick? No. That ship is sailed. Let that ship go. Let that ship go. Let that ship go. And the other thing, too, listen, if you stick with Foles this season, if you stick with if you stick with going to get a bridge guy, like I said, trading for a Gardner Minshew, does that mean you can't go get Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson when their contracts are a little more palatable to the teams? Because I'm going to be real with you. If the Texans don't trade Deshaun Watson before the draft, they're the dumbest organization in an NFL that includes the Chicago Bears. Because your value goes from here to here. Still a lot of value there, but I mean, come on, bro. That's just not intelligent. That's just not intelligent. But if you're going to make a move, if you're going to make a trade, if things really have separated that much, go find you a guy that you can plug in and he can do a little bit of something for this season. And then you go give up what you got to give up for Russell Wilson. Are you losing another year of him? Yeah. Is he he would be 33 by the time he got to you? Listen, quarterbacks are playing to their goddamn 40 now. And they're giving you production for those years. And while you have that guy, guess what you can still do? You can still go draft a quarterback. And you should be drafting a quarterback every flipping season. If you're not, you're failing your own organization. You shouldn't be able to show your face in the city of Chicago. Get out of here. Which is the reason that I have so much beef with what they got here. With what they got going on here. Andre Velasquez says, what about Jacoby Brissett? He's better than what we got here on the Bears. I mean, is he even on the team? I don't think Brissett's on a team. If you're going to get a bridge guy, okay. But I don't think he's that talented either. B Minor says, check out Jamie Newman. Nice name, B Minor. I like that. Check out Jamie Newman from Wake Forest. I'll tune into him. We're gonna have a lot of videos where we're looking at quarterback tape. I try to avoid that for the most part, but I've kind of figured out a way around it where we can get away with it. But, you know, teams don't really like when you be watching their tape. So we'll look into it. Baki says, honestly, that is what I see the Bears going with Nick Foles, Alex Smith, and drafting a QB. Then after Pace and Nagy get fired, reports will come out how we were close to getting either Wilson or White. Facts. Bowie says, Jacoby gets you another 8-8 season, probably. Do you think Russell Wilson's girl is fine? Listen, we're not going to be out here disrespecting another man's wife like that. We're not doing that. What about trading up in the draft to get Mac Jones? His value's gone so high up, unapologetic, that I don't think that's going to happen. What's your name, bruh? Amirna? What about Dwayne Haskins, though? I want y'all to just go look at tapes of Dwayne Haskins on the bench. Dwayne Haskins was not cut because of talent. Go look at tape of Dwayne Haskins on the bench. Legitimately. But we appreciate y'all for tuning in with us, man. We appreciate y'all for rocking with us. As always, it is your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again. Make sure that you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the page because we do talk Chicago sports weekly. Make sure that you tune in to the live. It's going to be kicking off in about an hour. We're going to be covering the Chicago Bulls versus New Orleans Pelicans game live and in action. We should have pretty much the whole crew in here for that. But we'll see who all pulls up. What else was I going to say? Oh, if you want to continue watching our Bears content, man, check the links in the description below. We got playlists down there. Got a couple of dope videos. We got Bulls content down there as well. We're going to get the White Sox content out. We're getting more Cubs content out. We're going to have to cover a little bit of Bears Blackhawks content as well. Because good Lord, what are they doing out here? You know what I'm saying? What are they doing out here? Winning games. That's what they're doing. But, yeah, man, we appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling with us. I am going to get up out of here. As always, like I said, it's your boy, Pat the Designer, back at it again. Chicago, y'all stay safe out there, man.